Hi, this is Yuki. I hope you're doing well. Today I'd like to share the lessons I learned in Silicon Valley, specifically about the relationship between financial success and happiness. As you know, Silicon Valley is home to hundreds of tech giants like Google, Apple, Salesforce, Facebook, as well as newer players like Twitter, Square, Coinbase, and so on. And there are a bunch of other unknown startups that may disrupt the world in the future. Ambitious people from all over the world and all over the US come here to pursue their dreams. It's an exciting place to be, with full of opportunities.
But is it?
When I first moved to San Francisco from Japan in mid-90s, I noticed early on that people here seemed kind of insecure. And when I moved from San Francisco to Peninsula, which is south of San Francisco in the heart of Silicon Valley, I met several wealthy people who do not seem happy, even though they seem to have everything that people want. Why is that? I'd like to talk about two things to explore what may be behind these unhappy thinking. First, golden handcuffs, and second, competitive nature of Silicon Valley. So let's get started. So what is the golden handcuffs? According to Wikipedia, it's a phrase first recorded in 1976. Refers to financial allurements and benefits that has the objective to encourage highly compensated employees to remain within the company instead of moving from company to company. So let's look at how much Googlers or Facebook engineers are making. At the elementary level at Google, which is for someone who just graduated from college or advanced degree, you start with a salary of $129,750 with stock compensation at the value of $39,082 plus a bonus of $20,475. So that's about $190,000 in total compensation at the start of your career. Facebook is in a similar ballpark. And for senior engineers at Google, the total compensation is about $350,000. So that's pretty hard to pull off in your 30s anywhere in the world but Silicon Valley. However, your struggle starts when you find yourself not being content with that life and want to try something different. If you want to look around for a similar job in the places like San Francisco Bay Area, New York, and Seattle, most likely you can ask for similar compensation, if not better, especially in this heated economy. But if you move to the middle of the country or another country, you may have to take a huge pay cut. Would you be willing to change your life? What if you want to start a company? You would have to commit to long hours of work and not much personal life, and your chance of success is pretty slim. Even if you succeed, it will take about 10 years to see the fruit of your success. Today, many of the top giant tech companies provide a pretty decent work-life balance and still pay their employees pretty well. Would you give up your fat salary with a good lifestyle to pursue something that's so much harder with no guarantee of success? So now you're trapped. Once you have a comfortable life, it's not so easy to give up what you have to pursue your passion. You got something to lose.
And now you are being golden handcuffed.
It takes a certain mindset or clear thinking to get out of it. When I left Japan to come to US, Japan was still lingering from their bubble economy, while US economy is quietly coming out of their stagnation. So average people in Japan are doing better financially at the time. I was having a great time and life in Tokyo was exciting. It was almost too good to be true, and I felt like it's not gonna last forever like that. And for better or worse, Japan is a structurally rigid and more risk-averse society compared to US. So partially because of that, there wasn't much liquidity in the job market, meaning it's hard to jump from one job to another, especially for a better position. I had a good job but didn't want to be stuck with the job just because I don't have any better choice. I felt my future in Japan will be nice and comfortable, but predictable. So I thought, if I know what my future will look like, what's the point of living through the life? And I felt I needed to take actions before it's too late. I wanted a life that I would pursue things that I'm curious about or interested in. So I felt there was nothing to lose and just pulled the trigger to come here. Sometimes in life, things you perceive to be most safe is misperception. it can end up being a trap and you may become unhappy with the life. If you pursue what your heart desires, I think you have a better chance of being happy. If you're lucky enough to find what you want, then just do it. Jump off from where you are and life goes on. After living in San Francisco for about 10 years, I felt I needed a change. It was around 2011, so a little before the second tech bubble became apparent. I had been working on my investment project for about 5 years then, and I wasn't going anywhere. I started to feel that everything I was doing looked like deja vu. I felt the city was too small. I didn't feel my future would be any better or different. It was like a movie, Groundhog Day. You're stuck in the same day over and over again. So I thought about going back to Japan or maybe moving to Singapore. It was as if I was trying to escape from my reality. After I thought about what I wanted for long term, I realized I still did not want to leave America, and I decided to put an end to my investment project and go back to a full-time job. When I got a job offer in Silicon Valley, I didn't have to think hard about moving because I was already thinking about moving out of San Francisco. So I took the job. So in 3 weeks, I was in Silicon Valley. I started to meet some wealthy people in my neighborhood. And as I got to know them, I noticed they weren't very happy. I didn't understand why. They seemed to have a nice family, live in a beautiful house with a great job, were comfortably retired, but yet they looked unhappy. They complained about politics, people. Then I started to realize it might have something to do with the competitive nature of Silicon Valley. When you start to become financially successful, other people's success will be more in your face. You would notice others around you that are successful as well. You would probably meet more people who are successful too. In Silicon Valley, if you are smart and work hard, with a bit of luck, your wildest dream can turn into your reality. But tons of others are also trying hard to make their dream comes true as well. So no matter how well you're doing, there's always someone around you who accomplished so much more, and you would hear about it. Also, your identity tends to be attached to your success, or at least partially, because you'd have to typically work really hard to become successful in anything. So that part of you naturally becomes part of your identity. So you may consciously or subconsciously start judging things, life, people by financial success, because now that's part of your identity. And you know what? It's easier to measure financial success than happiness. Happiness is subjective. It's not so easy to compare yourself to someone sitting next to you and see who is happier. But it's a lot easier to compare yourself with someone who is sitting next to you and see who is more financially successful. From what I can see, those wealthy people I met in Silicon Valley have more money than they can spend in their lifetime. Yet they looked unhappy and seemed to hold grudge against people around them. They say stuff like other people got too easy.
That CEO, he's not that good. He doesn't work that hard, but he gets paid tons as CEO.
Or they say stuff like,
Software guys these days are making obnoxious money for not good reasons. But when we were doing semiconductor, we worked so much harder.
or
My friends accomplished so much more. They're changing the world, unlike my company.
comparison kills the joy. We all know it. In the competitive, abundant world of Silicon Valley, you hear success stories constantly. There isn't a lot of entertainment around here to distract you either. So this is kind of place to work and raise family. If you have a cultural interest outside of that, you may not be satisfied with life here, but work is kind of interesting and exciting. So that would suck you right in the world of competitive Silicon Valley life. Because there aren't a lot of other ways to measure our lives around here, you would end up measuring things in numbers, financial success. Happiness cannot be measured by numbers, but wealth can be. And if you're judging things in numbers, you can sort of, measure where you stand in those numbers, and you would never be on the top.
Unless you're Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk.
You will always be less accomplished than someone around you. This is why I think money cannot make you happy. You need to get out of the trap. To do so, I found 2 things are helpful. You need to know what you want from your life, and don't let outside factors decide what you think you want from your life. I know this is such a cliche, but it's so true. Second, focus on the moment of now. Not the past, not the future. The extreme form of this is to get into your zone. You'll be most content. I hope you got something out of these stories and focus on what makes you happy. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye guys.